right, so we are back with Lisa Waters Lane in the studio. She comes each week with your garden questions. What are your neighbors talking about? So, welcome to the studio, Lisa.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So,
Okay.
we should tell folks about a scary thing that we saw out in the forest. So, we went on a
Mhm.
razor ride, side by side, UTV thing. So we're up off of over Spruce Mountain, back up towards Crown King, that area. And the tent caterpillars, I couldn't believe, I've never seen that before.
They are out in force, that is for sure. That's kind of sad.
So it looks like a web, it's a nest of caterpillars.
Hmm.
It's about the size of a football and it's up in the trees. These were on oaks. I've seen them on apple trees, on purple leaf plums. They can get on anything. But if you see
Hmm.
this webbing, this is crazy dangerous. They will strip your trees clean. There won't be a leaf left. And some of the oaks literally had zero leaves.
No.
And so they were out thick. And if you open up that nest, there'll be little 1.5 inch long caterpillars. They're kind of fuzzy, hairy, and they come out at night and eat the leaves, go back in the nest during the day so the birds don't eat them up. So it's a defense thing.
Hmm.
And so if you leave them unchecked, they'll strip your tree clean. So super easy to control them.
Hmm.
What you do is there's a organic spray here. It's called BT. And how do you say BT? Percentus Thurinalis.
Bacillus thuricide.
Thuricide. So
Someday you'll
BT.
get it.
Nah, I just like BT. It's
Oh,
way
yeah.
easier. So you spray BT on there. They come out at night. They eat the foliage. You get sick. They go back into their nest and they don't come out again. It's very gratifying. Yeah.
But it's not, if a bird were to eat a worm infected with the BT, it will not harm the
Oh,
bird.
no. Yeah.
So
So won't
it,
hurt the bird.
it's, yeah.
If they light on it, hummingbirds light on the spray. You could spray the bird with it. Won't affect. Only
Hmm.
affects caterpillars.
Right.
It doesn't affect ladybugs. Doesn't
Hmm.
affect grasshoppers. Doesn't affect anything but caterpillars.
Right.
The big green ones on your tomatoes, best organic spray ever. BT. How do I say that again? Through sense
Say it with me.
Bacillus
Bacillus thuricide.
thuricide. There you go.
At least that's how I say it.
Yeah. And only a professional would ever
Oh,
question
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So
They have
anyway,
to
tent
listen.
caterpillars. Watch for them. Don't let them get in the yard.
Yeah,
They're nasty.
definitely can do a lot of damage.
Yeah.
The oaks up there looked pretty sad. It
Very
was very
sad.
sad.
What questions do we have?
Well, we do have a question. So Tim is in Chino,
Hey, Tim.
has a new piece of property that once had a lawn on it.
Yeah.
Now it has foxtails
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah.
He wants to know what's the best way to get rid of them and what's the best way to keep them out.
Sure. So foxtail and goathead, kind of, they're both the
Hmm.
same thing. Goathead's the one that puts that little seed pod that has the burrs on it. Your dogs will walk over it and get one in their foot, and it just stops them in their tracks. And then foxtail has a little, it looks like wheat. They're real cute grass, but then it dries this time of
Hmm.
year. And then that wheat head will go through your socks. We've taken a cat to the vet, had one poked in their eye, all kinds of chaos. You don't want foxtail.
Mm-mm.
So it's an annual weed, comes back by seed. So if you can keep that thing from seeding, or if you can rake up all those seed, kill off anything before it seeds, you'll be ahead of it. And so, the easiest way probably, doesn't help Tim, but this is everyone else listening in.
Poor Tim.
Poor Tim, Chino Valley wants a lawn. You can have it. We'll get to you, Tim. Hold on. So anyway, for the easiest way to keep goat heads and foxtail annuals out, you put weed and grass stopper down along the driveway
Mhm.
over that rock lawn. And it keeps the seed from germinating, keeps it from actually coming up in the first
Mhm.
place. So you won't have this problem. You get ahead of it and they won't come back to haunt you. So every year you have this load of seed that come back over and over.
Mhm.
So that's how you get ahead of it for the masses. That's how we keep them out of our front flower beds out by the road. They love to grow out there, but weed and grass stopper, it's like a fertilizer. You spread it down, pray for rain or water it in, keeps the seed from germinating. It's a seed killer.
Mhm.
Now for Tim specifically, how do I start a lawn? Get as much of that seed out of there, kill off whatever's there, and then get the seed out as best you can. And then for you, especially, this is an older probably property that has just been let go. And so you'll want to rototill, till that ground up. So you're burying that seed. Don't let that seed germinate. Get it underneath the ground so your lawn seed, your fescue or bluegrass or ryegrass can take off. And so you want that to germinate. So you just till it, prep the soil more than you normally would for a lawn that you're preparing. And with the monsoon, it looks like might be heading our way. I don't know. We always question it, but generally July. The monsoon actually starts June 15. That's the actual date on the calendar. They say the monsoon start. We may not get rain until July, but it starts somewhere in the state, typically the eastern part of the state, June 15. Usually by July 4th, Chino Valley, Prescott Valley, this Central Highlands area is starting to see some afternoon rains. Humidity's off, the cloud cover's there. It's a great time to start a lawn. So your germination rate, your grass seed will come up in literally days, 2-3 days. You're starting to go, oh, wow, look at that. I'm a gardener. And did well. So we've got a handout on that. If you need help, we'll give you that. Tim, come see us. It's probably worth a trip in from Chino Valley.
Oh, definitely. And just to clarify, if he's going to put lawn in, he does not want to use the weed and grass stopper now.
Oh, thanks for covering for me, babe. Yeah, that's good. No, you do not want to put weed and grass stopper. It's also weed and grass stopper on your lawn area because it will stop grass too. So just put it in areas where you don't want, like that rock lawn, in between around a rose bed, underneath your trees. Do it in those areas. We're going to start a lawn. Till it, get it all level. Put your seed down and water like crazy.
Okay. All right. That helps.
Yeah, thank you.
So Clara's in Prescott Valley. She has some new beds that her wonderful husband made for her. She would like to put shrub roses in those beds.
Perfect.
And her question is, how much space or how far apart do you put each rose?
So most shrub roses are going to be a standard size rose. Figure about hip high. So if you're really spacing out a garden of roses, typically you're going to space about every 4 to 6 feet apart and let them grow up about hip high and kind of 2-3 feet round. Then you just have some spacing in between and it'll be real pretty. Now they can also form, I've seen quite a few shrub roses that are turned into hedges. Beautiful hip high hedges. They just bloom all spring through fall. So it depends on what you want to do with it.
Yeah.
Most rose gardens, you're spacing 4 to 6 feet apart. Then you'll prune them back and shape them. You want air to flow in between each bush so you don't get mildews and aphids and some other issues. So general spacing.
Okay.
Come in and visit. We've got hundreds of roses. We can show you your favorite colors. We've got even some shrub roses that have fragrance to them anymore. They're just amazing.
Amazing.
Well, they are. I can't believe they ever did that out of shrub. We used to
It's
only
a
have.
long way.
We only used to have knockout roses,
Right.
boring pink. You
was
sell a few
boring.
thousand of those, and it's great. But now they got new varieties that are way more
Oh, yeah.
exciting.
Nice colors, smell good. I agree. So Jeff has a question. He has a Stella cherry that is just full of cherries.
Yeah.
His question is, do you thin the fruit out on a cherry tree or do you just leave it? And then he fertilized in March. When should he fertilize again?
Yeah. So the cherry crop, the peaches, apple. This is a good fruit year. Lots of apples, lots of pears. I mean, there's just lots of fruit this year. So it's a good time. Cherries, you don't thin as much. So apricots, nectarines, peaches, you have to thin or you'll be left with lots of little tiny fruits with big pits.
Right.
So you're thinning over half the fruit off of those. Plums the same way, but cherries, not so much. The birds are going to get a portion of them. So unless you protect them, cover them with bird netting or you put the bird scare tape kind of stuff. There's different techniques. Well, that wasn't his question. So you don't have to thin cherries. There you go. And when do you fertilize? Right after you pick the cherries.
Okay.
So you're getting close. So probably mid-July or so, I'm guessing cherries will be off. Kind of depends on the seasonality, but right after they're done fruiting, hit them with the fruit and vegetable food, and they'll just you're setting the stage for next spring. They're going to use that food. And the most important feeding for any fruiting plant for spring fruiting, fall feeding. Fertilize around Halloween for sure. That'll be a game changer. Man, out of time already. Thanks, Lisa. Ken and Lisa Lane, the Mountain Gardeners. Be right back.